for now, with this version, the data point from the Nutnfancy project on the UTAS UTS-15 is as follows. You get the idea. Double thumbs down from TMP on the UTS-15. No joke. The gun sucks. Now, if you guys are looking for a pop culture gun review, go elsewhere. That's not what this is all about. This is about truth. And people subscribe to the Nutnfancy project for truth in all its varieties. And that's what I'm about. Well, Nutnfancy, what's a pop culture gun review? Well, it's what you see everywhere. Print media, electronic media, here in YouTube, all over the place. You know, the guy will go out, shoot it, blow some crap up, talk in generalities, not saying much, no real analysis, no real criticism. And he toes a party line, whatever that is, usually from the manufacturer. There's all kinds of hype like this on this gun right now, the UTS-15. It was debuted at the NRA convention in St. Louis in 2012. And I got to tell you, I missed it. I didn't even know it existed until a couple months ago. I was saying to the crew, saying, hey, maybe we should get one of those. See what it's about. Maybe it's awesome. And we were really hoping it was awesome. Really hoping. I've posted my video separately of the shooting disaster that was our UTS-15 experience. It is not set up. There were no tricks. There were no modifications to the gun other than this little stick-on right here so we could actually find it. The action release button. Nothing. Fresh from the box. It was awful. Just horrible. The worst performance from any gun I've ever seen here in the Nutnfancy project. And so yeah, I've got a lot of negative crap to say about this version. Okay, this version. Perhaps, just perhaps, UTAS, or as I think it's supposedly pronounced, UTAS. Yeah, UTAS. I will say UTAS, the Americanized version. Apologize. The UTAS might square this gun away, and it may be a stellar performer in future iterations of the UTS-15. As it stands now, I say steer clear, my brothers. Steer clear. Do not waste your money on this gun. But Nutnfancy, I read this about the gun. I saw this guy shooting it, and he said it's awesome. Well, they're wrong.
Johnny.
I don't know what went down with that review or that individual. I can't speak for them. I can't speak for TMP. I can't speak for what I'm about here, and that is absolute integrity. Not in the pocket of any manufacturer. Not UTAS. Not Kel-Tec. I don't care about Kel-Tec. Well, Nutnfancy, you just like the KSG. Well, damn right I like the KSG because it works. Got one right here. You'll see it before the review ends. Now that's a combat shotgun. It works. But you're always saying positive stuff about Kel-Tec. No, I'm not. You need to pull your head out and go look at my past videos. I was the world's greatest critic on the PMR-30 with them in attendance in the Nutnfancy project. Shooting with us, and I was railing on the gun, and I caught heat for it from a lot of different quarters. Oh, Nutnfancy, you're a Kel-Tec hater. No, I'm not. I love Kel-Tec, but this gun's a piece of crap, and I will say nothing but the truth on the camera. Otherwise, what good's a product? What good is a video product? Pop culture gun review? Go out and blow some shit up? Okay. What's that do? What's that do for my audience? Entertains them for, I don't know, a few minutes? I'm more about the truth. PMR-30 had issues back when we shot it in early 2011. From that shoot, Kel-Tec went back to the drawing board. Lo and behold, after that video came out, the Eat Lead drill and then Have No Fear drill, they went back to the drawing board with input from other users as well and redesigned the gun to a better gun. I'm talking Kel-Tec PMR-30. It wasn't keyholing. They did a complete barrel redesign. It was more reliable. Before it was horribly reliable. And yet it was hugely hyped. And I'm talking about this because it plays with this gun so perfectly. It is such a perfect piece of TMP history, and we're going through it again with this gun, the UTAS UTS-15. So they square away the PMR-30, and I don't jump on board. like a lot of my subs wanted me to. They go, oh man, that's a great gun, Nut. I can't believe you don't like it. I don't like it because it's a piece of crap. Lo and behold, version 3, 2, whatever it was, comes out, we run it, and it's a hugely improved firearm. That's what I'm about. I'm about creating something viable, worthwhile, that's good, not hyped. Okay, the UTS-15 in this version is a POS. Okay, and by the way, to keep it real, this is a sample of one. I didn't fire a whole fleet of UTS-15s for this review. One, and we purchased the gun for review. You dig? This is not from the manufacturer. It's not on loan. Complete independence in this review. So, you know, they like it, they don't like it. I don't care. You know, I'm after the truth here. If it's awesome, I rave about it. You guys know that. I get very excited about a product. I'll say, this one is good, guys. I would sign off. Not this guy. No way. Oh my gosh. So you guys are really going to like this review because it's rare that I will just rail on a gun, but I'm pretty much going to rail on the gun. Yes, I will point out good things. There are some good things about the UTS-15. If it is squared away, there could be some great things about it because I think conceptually it is excellent. That's right. It's excellent in concept. It's crappy in execution. And for the life of me, I don't know how UTAS or UTAS let that much time go by and issue this gun for release. What is their R&D team doing? I mean, who signed off on some of the components I want to show you and say, yeah, that's good to go? What's these guys' experience level? How much combat shotgunning experience do you have where you would issue a gun like this to the public? It's a good question. I'm flabbergasted. Yeah, it's that bad. Ergonomic issues all over the place for me. It's my data point. Just like I said at the very beginning, it's just a data point, but you're going to find it very fascinating and very honest. Let's get in it. I guess the gun resulted, at least from what UTS says, as a request from Smith & Wesson for a police shotgun. Sub 30 inches in length, 13 rounds, and I guess UTAS produced this gun. But the question is, why isn't it marketed under a Smith & Wesson name? Maybe there's a story there. I don't know. That's a backstory. I said this gun sucks, and it truly does suck. So with that in mind, we got to kind of split the review. We got to talk first about reliability. That's key. That's why I'm shooting this gun down. First and foremost, I could almost live with the weird ergos on the UTS-15 if it was ultimately reliable. Okay, and I think the CEO or someone speaking for UTAS called this the ultimate in simplicity and ruggedness. No, it's not. It's not. Maybe simplicity. At least it's how it field strips. That fine. But back here, there's nothing simple about this area here. Nothing. It's very complex. Not intuitive. So no. Cutting through the chafe, departing from groupthink, peeling away from the crowd, and I'm just loving it. I just love it. I relish it. Yeah, that's why you subscribe to the Nutnfancy Project, right? All right, so durability and track record. We're going backwards on the review. I'm going to give the gun an F-, as is, F-. We had delayed feeds. Delayed feeds? What the heck is that, Nutnfancy? Well, that's where you think you're empty. You shoot, click, nothing goes off. You think you're empty, you rack the slide again, double checking that you're empty, and lo and behold, here comes another round. What? Where did that thing come from? Good question. Now you do have some big viewing slits here. We'll get to those, trust me. Okay, delayed feed, that's unusual. Then we had failures to eject. Pretty much on every other shot, depending on what was going on. You saw that in the video. I'm going to roll in the footage here as well. I mean, what? Not extracting the shell. Or not ejecting it. And it failed to extract. There's a couple that just did not come out of the chamber. What are the specifics on this, Nutnfancy? Heck, I don't know. I don't know why it's not doing it. Usually it was a multiple of errors going on. So it would fail to extract / eject. And out comes the next one. Ready to rock and roll. But wait, there's an obstruction here. So now you got a double feed. Our 2 shells in the chamber area, and up comes the top cover. That was frequent. Very frequent. We had, I think, an upside down feed where the shell would pop down and then it would rotate and try to feed in backwards. I might be remembering that last one wrong. Okay, so Tactical Doodle, my son, was the shooting crew for the UTS-15. We gave a fair test. Again, I cannot overemphasize this, that we went out expecting to run and gun with this gun. Stoked. We have like 250 rounds of shot shells with us. Buckshot, slugs, high base, low base. Well, let's get going. You know, first thing I did is I sat down, I patterned it with slugs. And I saw the issues there. I'm like, what is going on with this gun? You know, it wasn't ejecting, wasn't extracting. I'm going, well, you know, and I got to tell you, we're real honest. Like, what are we doing? Is there something we're doing technique-wise that's dicking this gun up? So we had a little junta. We're like, oh, I don't know. Let's just try it with birdshot. We'll see if we can get going. So we start, supposedly, the run and gun action. Well, that didn't happen because it's not reliable enough. Immediately started the jams. Now, if you guys think I don't have experience with combat shotguns, you, again, need to go catch up with the history of the Nutnfancy project. I have years, decades of combat pump shotgun experience. Winchester 1300, Mossberg 500, Mossberg 590, Ithaca 37, Remington 870. Lots of experience. Love those guns. Those are Hall of Famers here in the Nutnfancy project. This ain't. Those are. So I know how to run a combat pump shotgun, and I run it aggressive. I rack the slide smartly. All the way back, all the way forward. Am I perfect in this? No, I make mistakes just like you do. But generally speaking, I'm pretty squared away in my combat shotgunning. I'm accurate and extremely fast. Watch it on video if you don't think so. The reason I have to bring that up is in case someone who doesn't know the Nutnfancy project, doesn't know what's going on here, this is the first video they've ever watched, rolls in and goes, well, you weren't doing it right. Well, again, pull your head out, go watch the videos, and you tell me if I wasn't doing it right. Tactical Doodle and I said, well, maybe, well, he's like, maybe you're actuating. I'm laughing because this is just a joke to apply this following phrase to a combat shotgun. He goes, well, maybe you're just actuating the slide too quickly. What? How is that possible with a pump shotgun? Well, I will say this, even if it was 100% reliable, and there were a couple strings where it was feeding, it was shooting okay. You've seen that in the video. I didn't even edit that video hardly at all. It's just, this is what happened. I noticed a delayed feed action. It was like the shells would come out of the top-mounted magazine tubes. That's where they're mounted, right here. Come out, ka-chunk, fall in. And I was like, wow, it seems like there's a one potato, two potato feeding thing going on there. It wasn't immediate. If I can hear the actuation of the shell coming down, forget reliability. It just, to me, does not inspire confidence. Time to roll in the KSG. Deal with it. I didn't notice that with this gun at all. Keltec KSG, I mean, I can't even remember hearing that. All I know is it was working. Bam, 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 buckshot, you know, 100% reliable. I wouldn't say 100%, but mostly reliable. No gun is 100% reliable. I mean, but the amount of rounds I put through this, amazing reliability. Buckshot, slugs, birdshot. So I had a sensation of delayed feeding in the UTS-15, malfunctions notwithstanding. That's important to understand. So I say, well, let me slow down my slide actuation. So, you know, I'm slowing it down. I'm like, okay, let's make it real positive. You see that in the video. All the way back, all the way forward. Got some good shots out of it. Things were working good, and bam, another failure. So I was like, well, maybe it's just me. It's something I'm doing. Maybe I just don't know that I'm doing it. I don't know what that could be, but let's just pretend. So we put that Tactical Doodle on the back of it, and you know, he has a slower actuation of the slide. He too gets malfunctions. You know, we went on and on like this for a while, and then finally, to be dead honest, I just lost interest. It became ridiculous, just ridiculous. I mean, you shoot it, all kinds of jam ups back here. The top cover is just totally popping up on its own. What that's about? Well, I'll tell you what it's about. It's because there's two shells here, and they actually push this up. I was joking on camera. Well, the gun's telling you it's jammed. It's trying to help you out. Yeah, so, oh my gosh, reliability F minus. It couldn't have been worse. I've just never seen a gun this bad. For a pump shotgun.
It didn't auto lift it for you that time.
I mean, I emphasize that point because it's so important. This is a pump shotgun. I mean, maybe for a semi-auto, I could see issues like that, gas issues, so it's over-gassed, under-gassed, but for a pump auto, I'm much less forgiving. You should be too. Okay, so that's that. That's F minus. Track record, from what I've seen, I think this video will change the whole opinion, the world opinion on the UTS 15. I really do.
Wait, let me look in the manual.
Hype shot down.
In the manual.
But it's just one gun. I know, I told you that. It's just one gun. Could have been broke.
Internet project.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let me talk to that real quick. If it's this broke with this many malfunctions, serious malfunctions, delayed feeds, failure to eject, failure to extract, upside down feeds, to me that is show-stopping. I'm not interested to send it back to the manufacturer with that. And frankly, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of all the guns that come to us and they're dicked up. I'm just sick of it. It costs me lots of money. It cost me a lot of money to buy this gun. More money to send it back, then the reviews delayed 2 more months. I mean, is it time, time critical, or I should say timely? No. If it was something minor, then I would say, yeah, give it a buy. Let the manufacturer fix it. But here, UTS, if you want to review, a different review, fix your gun. Send us another gun. I ain't buying it again. Forget it. That's done. You buy the ammo too, by the way. We already spent money on ammo. I'll give you a fair review. If it's great, I'll tell the world. If it sucks, you're going to get another video like this. Woo, man. You guys digging this? This is an entertaining review, right? Totally. Now we're going to shift gears. We're going to pretend at this point, from the rest of the review, more or less, the gun's reliable. Otherwise, we've got nothing left to talk about, really. Right? If it's not reliable, and it's not, if it's not durable, and it doesn't appear to be, then we got to kind of play a play game here, and that is, well, what if it was, Nutton? Because that way it kind of frees me up to talk more positively about the gun. Otherwise, we have this dark rain cloud sitting over the review, and it's hard to ignore. Philosophies of use, I guess. I'm going to just go super quick. I mean, it's what I said about the KSG. If it was reliable, it'd be a great CQB gun. No, I'm not a fan of bullpup guns. I said that in the KSG review. I will give it a buy if it provides something exceptional to me. As a user, as a LE user, a civilian user, as perhaps, I don't know who this would apply to, as a military user. Provide something exceptional, I will put up with a form factor of a bullpup. I said that with the KSG, right? This provides me 14 plus 1. Granted, not simultaneous feeding. We'll talk about that. But 14, I should say 7 plus 7 plus 1.
Last one did.
That's what the KSG provides me. And so I'm like, whoa, that's pretty cool. Very short, overall, compact.
Is that sighted in awesome?
Compact length. Yeah, I'm on board with that. Could be a great CQB gun. And it's cool looking. I gotta admit, it looks like a video game gun, right? It reminds me of the RMAT M41A Alpha Aliens 2 pulse rifle that the Marines were using. Kind of reminds me of that. It's cool looking. It's, I think, already being featured in some television shows. Uh-oh, Nutnfancy, there's another Hollywood gun. You're right, it could be just a Hollywood gun. It could be a prop gun. It looks cool on screen. It looks very futuristic. Looks very 2036-ish. I'm with that. It could be a great prop gun, and maybe we should throw that out as a distinct philosophy of use, man. Out of box, I got to tell you, too, it kind of feels airsofty. I mean, we picked this up. We're like, gosh, this seems like something I'd go to an airsoft game with. Now, don't get me wrong, man. I love polymers. Polymers lighten things up. They lighten our loadout. Me, of all people, I'm on board with that. Lightening our loadout, you guys know that. The Glock is a perfect example. Polymer, bulletproof. You can say that about a lot of guns. M&P, XDMs, there's a lot of polymer out there, and they do it right. To me, this is not executed quite right. Not yet. POUs. Yeah, I'm still on that. Assuming it was reliable, recreational. It'd be great fun. I say that from my KSG experience. Now that's a fun gun to shoot. Way fun. Now, is it as fun, like I said in that review, as a Winchester 1300 that's super fast, super slick, and standard ergonomic format? No, not for me. I'd rather run a 1300 because you're still talking ergonomic a little bit here. You're still in a bullpup configuration. Your face is right here where everything's happening. Lots of smoke, powder. It's kind of more of a, I don't know, involving experience. Let's say that. It's an involving experience. Yeah, recreationally, if this thing was working, it would be fun. You know, your mileage may vary what constitutes fun. Maybe you love shooting bullpups. I don't know. Home defense, yeah, you could use it for that. There's no provision amount of light unless you opt for their laser light add-on combo. And then there is. But I'm not impressed for the brightness level from what I've seen with that. You know, like I'm going to say, I'll say it right now. You need to add a pick rail. Why don't we have a Picatinny rail right here? UTAS, we should have like a user attachable rail that if a guy wants to run something right here, or maybe angle it so it's up here so it's out of the way of the slide actuation. Cool, I'm all for that. On both sides, pick rail comes up. Then a guy can attach a flashlight right here. Cool, man. Maybe put it on the bottom, but it's just so long this way. And you will notice that. I said that in the Kel-Tec review. I said, in terms of compactness and form factor, I prefer the KSG. Heck, I can determine that just by looking at screen images. This is a broad gun. It's thick. Looks cool on screen. Maybe not so cool in use. I don't know. In shooting it, I'm jumping ahead to ergos. Let me say that for there. We'll talk about that. In shooting it, though, it's not as bad as you might think in that particular respect. POUs, I got to move on. Duffel gun. It's so short. I mean, it's 29.5 inches in overall length. It can fit in a lot of different systems. That's good. End of discussion for POU. That's all I'm going to say about it. Innovation and design. Well, obviously, it's innovative. And it could be having some teething issues. I mean, we've seen this, but from all types of manufacturers. They come out with this gun. It has this issue. It has that issue. Subsequent generations of that gun are good, if not great. We've seen that. You could see this with the UTS-15, and thank you very much. I think this video review will get that process going. It will turbocharge it. That's what the truth does. It sets you free. It creates better products for us, not worse, where we accept status quo. There I go again. So yeah, it's innovative. It's got twin magazine tubes riding on the top of the barrel. This puts a barrel in line with your shoulder, and it helps mitigate recoil. I like that. Now, Tactical Doodle said it felt kind of unwieldy, fully loaded, because it seemed top heavy. Again, we get into that length. Okay, so it's not compact like this. There's actually a broad cross-section of weapon hanging out there. Now you've got 14 rounds up here. Does it feel right? Does it bounce right? To me, I was so preoccupied with the reliability issues, I didn't really notice, to be honest with you. I think some guys are saying this is carbon fiber. It's not carbon fiber. This is polymer. Probably reinforced with fiber. So basically what we see everywhere. So it's polymer. In fact, it's 85% polymer in an attempt to cut down weight. Now, you guys know I'm huge on lightweight, right? I am. But I'm also huge on durability and war readiness. In fact, more so than weight when it comes right down to it, especially for a shotgun, because it's not something I'm integrating into a CES. This is probably home D vehicle gun, by the way, another POU. Recreational. So maybe I would take, I don't know, an extra 4 ounces, 6 ounces to give me parts that are more durable. I'm talking about innovation design here, really, but we're also kind of talking about, I don't know, durability. For one, this is your selector lever for the magazine tubes. I guess I can close that. I'll show you something here in a second. And it totally snapped off on us. Like I said in the shooting video, as soon as I took this out of package, I was like, dude, that is plastic. How in the world would they issue this gun with a plastic tube selector switch? To me, that just baffles the mind. Not only that, it had a lot of sharp points on it. It was unergonomic. It was almost painful. And from what I gather, it's been breaking off and just guys pushing it from one side to the next. I threw this on the ground, a snow-covered ground, one time, and it snapped off. combat shotgun,
Those tubes.
the ultimate in ruggedness?
You're getting stuff in your
No, I don't think so.
tubes. It's
Maybe I'll take some extra ounces, for instance, to make this part out of steel. Thank you very much. No, that's plastic. Plastic? A plastic feed ramp? I mean, how much use is this going to get over thousands of rounds? It's already getting scruffed up over one TMP outing. Plastic? Unbelievable. This receiver cover.
years of
Hokey, dude.
and humor.
Hokey. I mean,
Like,
it's
we're
just
putting
there
it
by
under your
friction.
Right.
I mean, that it was popping up on us during shooting. That's not good. I don't like that. Come with a different way to attach it. Make it, tougher. Then we've got a new system for an ejection port cover. Why don't we just use something that's proven? That is a AR-15 M4 style ejection port cover with a pin. No, they've got a magnet there, and it attaches to the bolt like so. To me, that's just airsoft, dude. It's hokey. I was wondering when that magnet's going to pop out. Now, notice this is all polymer. I'm a realist, an engineering realist in this moment. Where are you going to put that pin, Nutnfancy? Oh, that's a good point. Maybe the engineer should extend some metal so we have a pin that can actually interface with something meaningful and really keep that closed. If that's important. Is that an important design feature for the UTS-15? Not from what I've seen. Not for reliability. The whole reason we would have that is to keep crap out of here, right? I don't know, dudes. I don't know. Innovation design. 18.5-inch barrel on this sucker. So you are getting a full-size barrel. As such, you're getting full-size velocity. I'm all for that. And still under 30 inches. That's good. Good magazine capacity, too. We'll talk about that separately. How about those twin magazine tubes? Those are cool, right, Nutnfancy? They are cool. I can flex with the top mount, no problem at all. I can actually even flex with this cheesy polymer cover right here. Check this. I mean, it's kind of warped out on this version. I'll show you a different view here in a second, but I'm kind of hiding a secret from you now. Okay, so I can take that. I mean, it's cool. This is really cool looking. It is functional. It protects your hands from getting burnt. I don't have any issues with it at all. I like it. The problem I have, though, is these damn big slits right there, yo. Holy cow. What? I said this in the KSG review just by looking at the images. I said, it looks like you're going to have all types of crap fall into the, your magazine tubes. And lo and behold, we had all types of crack. That is hilarious. Crap falling into the mag tubes. I mean, toss it on the ground, it was packed full of snow, and look at the springs. They're all rusted now. No, I didn't neglect the gun. I brought it home, shook it out, and put it in front of a heater. Still rusted. Hey, but wait a minute. I heard some dude raving about how it is absolutely rust and corrosion resistant. Quote, unquote. Yeah, that's the kind of hype that's out there on this gun. I don't think so. Hey, newsflash, if you're going to create these huge gaping slits on the side where I can get dust, dirt, heck, for that matter, freaking boulders in there, how about you make the springs stainless steel? That's a thought. Sorry. I mean, it just boggles my mind. I would like to see these cut down. They should be half as wide as they are. Way too much in there. I'd actually prefer a different system. I'd prefer to have them completely enclosed. And then if you really need a rounds counter, put something visual down here. There could be an engineering solution for that where you just have a little digit counter that guys can see. Hey, I have 2 rounds left in that tube. I have 1 in that tube. Look at the KSG, how they did it. And they even gave them some heat for this, too. On their magazine tube. Very small. Very small. But nothing fancy, they're too small. Well, perhaps. But, pick your poison. What would you rather have? A gun that works and is durable, or one that is good in concept but in execution it does not work? So those are your mag tubes. We're still talking about innovation design, but we're kind of talking about some other issues here too. Okay, so these are port covers right here. Port covers. They just seem cheesy to me. Airsofty. They just do. I mean, they were popping open on themselves. You just brush them with your hand. Next thing you got these out. You wipe your hand across, you smack it. Is there a way we can attach these better? If they worked and stayed closed, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't at all. Then we get to the follower system. And this gun is not exactly intuitive overall. It should be. I think a good gun should be intuitive. You pick a gun up and you go, hey, I think it should work this way. Lo and behold, it does work that way. That's an intuitive weapon. Simple. Foolproof, because there's lots of fools in the world. Perhaps just like me. If I pick up the UTS-15, hey, how's this work? Well, I'm a pretty experienced gun guy, and if I get confused, I don't know, maybe that says something. You know, like, maybe I should open that manual. Where's that manual at? Okay, we open up the manual, UTS-15. Oh, cool. Nice graphic on the side, by the way, or the back. I like that. That's way cool. There's got to be some good information in there, right? Okay, safety warning, blah, blah, blah. I know all that stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Let's get to how it works. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. What? Then we go right into the parts of the UTS-15. WTF. What? There is no manual. It's an internet project. You got to go to the internet to figure out how to work it. Well, Nutnfancy, it's not that tough. Well, duh. I know that. We showed you how it was working. We figured it out. Center position on the selector feeds from both tubes alternately, starting with the left tube, then the right tube, I believe. And then if you move it to the left, the one it's pointing to, talking of counterintuitiveness, is the one that's cut off. You would think the one you point to is the one you're going to feed from. Nope, not with the UTS-15, just the opposite. The way I think of it and the way we found out is if the shell's, it's busted off, so I'm not going to switch it, but if the shell was being exposed, like when we rotate it left, then that's the tube you're feeding from. Counterintuitive. So here we go again to the follower system. Well, why? You know, is this gun different? I'm sorry if it is, but I just can go from the sample. I have to preload the follower because it keeps popping. Shouldn't it stay like that always? Well, no, because it has to feed all the way down here, Nutton. I know. And for you guys that don't have that, notice what happens. I close the ejection, or the, not ejection, but the port cover, and that's where your follower ends. So it's actually another step in reloading we found. Preload your follower, then start charging it. Now, as far as the actual ergonomics of charging it right here, I didn't have a huge problem with that. I can totally deal with that. And we've got another duplicate cover right here. Oh, I got to preload the follower. I don't know. Is this plastic? Yep, that's plastic too. You want a lightweight shotgun, maybe that's the price. Innovation and design. I like the fact that it has a long Picatinny rail on top. That's all good. Polymer, by the way. Where's the KSG? Come here, KSG. Let's see what the KSG is made out of. Oh, steel. Just a data point. Why is that important, Nutton? Well, because times that I've used polymer rails has been problematic. Let's see. High Point 995 TS, that's a great example. Polymer rail, it shifted when I put a scope on it. All over the place. Accurate gun? You bet. With a scope? Nope. You could have this with that gun, you know, shifts with a polymer rail. I don't like it. You know, there's good weight and bad weight. Bad weight is when we're putting weight on the gun that doesn't serve a purpose, that doesn't serve durability. Good weight is smart weight, where I'm like, hey, perhaps I'm going to integrate a 7075 T6 aluminum rail up top, mil spec, and then I'll transition to the polymer receiver, and I'm going to lock that sucker down. So guys will have zero movement on their sights, which incidentally, as you can see, are M-bus. Which I love. I love Magpul M-bus sights. We did run a red dot on it, and it failed. Little BSA red dot. Not recommended. So we transitioned to irons. So you can get versions of the UTS-15 with iron sights attached. I would opt for not getting them from the looks of them. They look hokey. Just get some M-bus or some real awesome folding BUIS. Consistency of the pick rail. How consistent is it? Well, I really don't have a lot of data to share with you because it wasn't reliable enough where I wanted to test it more. Probably for a shotgun would be fine. Innovation and design. Does have a screw-in choke system. I like that. This is a cylinder bore. You can screw it out. I think it's a Beretta. They say it's a Beretta style choke. So maybe you could get one that fits it. There you go. They have an extended one that has some teeth on it. Mean looking. I still think it's cylinder bore. Not sure what that does for you. If you're going to give me a tactical choke, make it a modified tube. Something where my shot pattern is denser and I can go longer ranges with it. I'd prefer that. Innovation and design. One thing I really like that they did, and KSG did not do this, and that is put in, you know, swivel studs right there. And they came with these extraordinarily heavy steel sling swivels, which I promptly removed. But they have them, and at least you have a provision to carry this thing submachine gun like, which I think for a bullpup makes a heck of a lot of sense. There's your other swivel stud. Well done, UTS. I told you there's some good things. Innovation design. And frankly, we're talking ergonomics here too, dudes. Do you see any issues, you combat shotgunners out there, if you are watching this video, with this portion right here, your forearm? You are correct. It lacks traction. That is the most critical part on the gun. It's not gas operated, it's human arm operated. In order for that to work, the human hand must be connected to the forearm. But what if you get some sweat, blood, hydraulic fluid, oil, water on this? Do you have ultimate traction? I say no. Now go reference FNSLP shotgun and how they checkered those stocks. Wicked. That's how you do it. So UTS, if you redesign this, please fix this. Why do we have square corners here? It should be, my hand doesn't have square corners in it. Make it rounded, completely rounded. Checker the heck out of it. So guys have really good traction on that critical component of a combat shotgun. It's flared out up here. That's good. Do I need it flared out here? No. Would I like a way to attach a rail on the bottom? Actually, I would. I like options. So maybe here we have flush mounted screws that we can actually attach a 2-inch Picatinny rail section if we want to run a light down there. Granted, that would make a very deep weapon presentation and profile. I understand that. But it's an option. Maybe for whatever reason, your gun case, a vehicle you're in, you would like that. I would like it. Innovation and design. This is for the laser light combo. So when it's installed, that's a functional switch. 3-position switch. No, this version obviously doesn't have it. More rust proofing problems coming at you. I mean, this is one outing. I've got these action screws, hex heads, totally rusted. Come on, guys. Let's parkerize that sucker. All that should be parkerized. Heck, the barrel should be parkerized. If you're going to sell it for what you're selling it, which, by the way, is expensive. I mean, a cheesy blue job? No. How about a parkerization job like on the old Ithaca 37s? Now that's a rust-proof finish. Oil it up, it holds oil. The trigger is good on the UTAS UTS-15. It's really good. I'm surprised how good it is. It pulls at 4.5 pounds. Well, I better really triple check this thing. Make sure it's not going to delay feed on me, because we're getting ready to pull a trigger. Safe direction. It's a good trigger. It is. So I would do nothing to the trigger. Ergonomically, I love the fact that I can put on an AR-15 grip. What you see running here is a Tapco M249 style. Love it. Especially in this application, a combat shotgun. Flared out, big old grip on it. So for recoil with slugs and stuff, I've got something to really dig into the gun. I dig it. Speaking of rust protection, by the way, here's a company that gets it. Check that out. So this spring, made by Tapco, our friends at Tapco, went through the same snow that the whole gun did. Do you see any rust on that Tapco spring at all? No, Nutnfancy, I don't. That's right. That's because it's parkerized. You can see it has no issues. Just like your AR-15 that's parkerized, you dump it once in the snow, you bring it home, is it going to be rusted? No, it's not. Yeah. Now TD had some issues with this right here, this kind of goofy trigger guard. I did not really. He's like, well, that's really broad and it's just goofy. I'm like, well, what else are they going to do with that? I mean, they can't put an AR-15 style of trigger guard in there because they need structure right here. There is none, so they have to make it self-supporting. It is roomy enough. I would like to see a winter flare out from there, but that's nitpicking. I can run with it the way it is. I didn't find a problem with it. Rotational safety. I like that. That's what I told Keltec they should put on KSG. Never did it. That would require a huge design change, I guess. Here you got it though. Rotational safety is my favorite. It's ergonomic. The safety here is positive. No issues whatsoever. No sharp edges. Hey, it shows you how many shells you can carry. Well, I guess that takes as a firepower then, doesn't it? 7 rounds. 2 3/4 inch. And if you forget to count, you can look in that huge gaping magazine slit. How could you forget? Well, that's nice lettering though. I don't mind that. I think that's kind of cool. Well, how about we do that down here with a selector lever where we really need to be reminded of something. Center position feeds both tubes. Come over here. You're feeding which tube again? Nope. Right tube when it's switched that way. Remember, it's counterintuitive. You might want to label it here. Doesn't have to be white letters, by the way. How about something a little bit lower profile? OD, FDE coloration? Whatever. And then we get to this. Innovation design. We're talking ergos now. This is your action bar release button, and that is my rubber nib that I put on there. And that's actually from like a, I don't know, it's like a little thing I got at Radio Shack, and you put them on the bottom of electronic devices. Because when we got it, we're like, holy freak, man, that thing is all the way back here. Locationally speaking, that is a huge miss, guys. I mean, come on. That your war fighting's going on up here, your hand's up here, and now I have to come back here, probably offhand, to actuate the release. And it's smooth. There's no texturing. It's hard to find, and that's why I put that little rubber bump on it. Self-adhesive. It'll probably fall off during hard use. That's a miss, guys. I mean, they're not going to be able to change that in future versions. We're just going to have to live with that, but you should be able to find it in the dark, under stress. There's a Nutnfancy answer to all that. If you're firing high recoil loads, you will like the low mounted bore. We said that. Less recoil, said that. You won't like, however, this. What is that about? You have sharp angles right in your cheek. We noticed that during firing. Tactical Doodle was saying, dude, what is up with that? Shouldn't that be rounded right where your cheek is? Yeah, that's a miss. Ergonomics.
I love this.
Design. It does have a rubber butt pad. No issues with that. I would wrap this in electrical tape so it does not grab. But I'll tell you what, the length of pull on this is jacked up. It is European length of pull, which is to say I hate it. Absolutely hate it. If you're going to market this gun to the United States, how about you give an adjustable length of pull? It is so short. KSG, where are you? Where are you? I complained about this length of pull, didn't I? Totally did. So we line up the pistol grips. Look at the difference. Rest my case. Make it longer for the U.S. market. I mean, we could easily use another inch of length of pull back here. I definitely could. As it is, we did run it out of box just like this. We can square up to the gun. We can make it work. Do we like it? No. We don't like it. Back to this top cover. We talked about the shaping of the top cover, but then we get this. Oh wait, what's that? More rust. There's the ID plate with a serial number. Full of rust. One outing. Looking inside this gun does not inspire confidence to me. Let's look at the bolt. Well, it's got looks like a strong bolt, rotating bolt. Good extractor in there. I think that's pretty squared away, but this stuff right here, it just, I don't know. Maybe it's because I saw how it did not work. I'll leave that at that. Holy cow. How much accuracy testing we did. That's pretty much innovation design, ergonomics. I probably forgot some stuff, but I've covered a lot of stuff. The only accuracy I could give you is this. Slugs, which was excellent. Told you I call it square and fair. There you go. That's 43 yards 2 days ago in the desert with full power slugs. That's excellent. That was as good as any others. I suspect that the patterning would be good. Never got to patterning because it just, I don't know, sucks so bad. accuracy, field strip. That is a good thing. And actually, get this off camera. The way you field strip it, and I'm not going to do it now. I'm not greasing up my table. You just pop this thing off. Make sure it's empty, of course. And then you'll slide this whole top section off. I think field strip is groundbreaking in its simplicity. No tools required. Well done. Well done. And there's actually some good diagrams on the field strip in your manual. Doesn't tell you how to work the gun. It does tell you how to field strip it. There you go. Lift stock. Pull your components off. A+ on the field strip. I wouldn't change a thing about there. Accessories. Well, that's where you're going to get hosed. Same can be said for KSG. There's not that many accessories. They sell a couple, like a case for it. I told you about the laser light combo. Yeah, that's out there. You can throw your irons on there, like I said. By the way, I think it's about AR-15 height. That's what I came up with. So if you do have a UTS-15, that an AR-15 height optic would be okay. I don't know what else to tell you about accessories. There's not much out there. It's its own animal.
Yeah, that's not counting.
That's good.
At all.
No.
And it's kind of bad. Value. Horrible.
On this son of a bitch.
What? You heard me. Horrible value on the UTS-15. This thing cost us $1,150 plus tax. Ouch. 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 We're scared about getting our money out of it at this point. Oh my gosh. Horrible value. Hey, weren't you guys complaining about the price on the Keltec KSG? What is that, like 9-ish? Blows this gun away.
Fire one more round though. Okay. So I can get a grip.
Watch what happens to the price of the UTS-15 now.
That is that.
See how that goes. Yeah, it's overpriced. This gun should be like $500.
43, dude.
I mean, take one out of the box,
45 yards.
just rack it a few times, and you tell me if you don't agree. It does not inspire confidence. There's nothing about this gun, even before shooting it, that inspired confidence in me. Or the crew. We took it and we're like, ugh, I don't know. When's tee-off time for the airsoft battle? Seriously, that's what we're saying. We're like, dude, this is... But I didn't judge it then. I was like, that's just an observation. Let's go shoot it. You know, proof in the pudding. Maybe this thing can really step up. It's like the little skinny kid on your baseball team. You're like, everyone's looking. I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's an easy out. The guy pounds one over the fence. Triple. Homer. All right. Yeah, he's skinny, but the boy knows how to hit the ball. I respect that. Maybe I thought the UTS-15 would be the same way. Hey, this sucker's, you know, it's a little bit different, odd, light enough. Maybe it'll hit one out of the park. Nope. And speaking of the weight, do you think it weighs more or less than the KSG?
Like the biohazard lead.
Yeah.
Well, with irons, I'm talking imbus in this case, it weighs more. The KSG, I just weighed it again, 7 pounds, 9 ounces with imbus. This gun, 7 pounds, 13 ounces, 4 ounces more than the KSG. It's deceptive, though, because when you hoist the UTS-15, you're like, wow, that's lightweight, man. It seems like it's really light. I think why we feel that way is because it's so damn bulky. It's huge. It looks like it should be like 20 pounds. So it's kind of a phenomenon going on there. The KSG is a lot smaller. When you hoist it, you go, wow, that thing's a little bit heavier. Nope, it's not. It's lighter than the UTS-15. I'm going to end the review now. I think I've shared all the information you need to know about this version of the UTS-15. And once again,
Not saying nothing.
you get the picture. I'm all about fairness, guys. I gave this thing a fair shake. Don't tell me otherwise. Don't tell me I'm in the pocket of this guy or that guy, this manufacturer. I don't give a crap about any of that. I'm about truth, man. If it rocks, I'll tell you. If it sucks, I'll tell you. And probably that's what the emperor needs to put on his clothes, right? So if all these pop culture gun reviewers just sign off on the groupthink to sell more product for a new gun, to create more copy, more ad revenue, that's what the gun culture is all about apparently,
Without a doubt, the best
then who gets screwed in the end? You do. You do, my friends, my subscribers to the Nutnfancy Project. You get screwed because you went out and spent $1,100, $1,200 on a POS like this. I hope UTS square this away. I hope UTAS looks this, and they go, and I know they're going to look at it, and it's going to shake the tree over there, and they're going to say, dude, It's a fair test. I mean, I just showed it how it is. I will, once again, reemphasize it's a sample of one. I didn't test a whole fleet. I don't have the interest to do it. I don't have the time or the resources. I did pretty damn good for a one-man show, essentially. Yeah, I'm breaking ranks with this review. Hardcore. No apologies. It is what it is, and I hope they square this away. So here's my improvements as the video comes to an end here. To make this gun great, you don't have to change the form factor. I'm okay with the form factor. But how about this? We rust proof it. We parkerize parts that should be parkerized. Same with the covers here. They seem to be good. Oh wait, there's rust right there. Oh! Freak. One outing. Yeah, rust proof it. If you're gonna mark it as a rust proof gun, do a little bit more coating on it. Thin out those witness slots on the mag tube. Dude, you know, I don't need to land an aircraft in there. You know, make it like the KSG. Put some thought and engineering in it. They just do not work for me as they are right now. Lengthen the length of pull, make it adjustable for US users. You know, for someone who's 5 foot tall, this gun will fit them. For someone like me, 6 foot 3 inches tall, not so much. Adjustable length of pull, please. Rail provisions, I talked about that. Short lengths of rail that we can attach on the side, on the bottom, with flush mount screws, so I don't have to run them if I don't want to. If I want to, I just screw them in. There's brass inserts that are steel backed that really holds it, that won't flex. And you're going to have to put some engineering thought into this cover now, because if I'm mounting something to it, it's going to have to be stable. Right now, not really stable, is it? That's on my Christmas wish list. I'm throwing it out there. Better traction on the fore end. It sucks the way it is now. Put some real checkering on it, like FNSLP does. That's a compact shotgun. Well, Nutnfancy, that's only 8+1. Wow. Damn right, but it's reliable, and I'd bet my life on that shotgun.
I'm surprised, actually.
I wouldn't go into a paintball match with this. Crying out loud. Traction button on the action bar release right here. Put something here where guys can find it. I realize that design-wise, you're not going to be able to relocate it, but put something here where it's half moon shaped, it's kind of checkered so guys can find it without looking. That is definitely lacking. How about that selector switch which sheared off so quickly on us? How about we make that out of steel? Hardcore steel and with rounded edges, and it's smooth. And we've labeled it with our laser engraving here to remind people how to do it. We should have metal sections in parts of the gun. I think that bottom there should be metal. Hey KSG, where are you? Let's see what the KSG did. I think it's a good representation. Is there plastic in there? I don't know, was there? Nope, it's steel. Steel there. And if you remember, we gave some criticism to the KSG in early running gun, and they redesigned it from our running gun. There was a ledge, you can't see it because it's in shadow, there was a ledge in the first versions where we were loading it, was like bam, and into that ledge. I was like, you guys need to bevel that. They did. This version's squared away. And then finally, how about we give a real manual? That, you know, obviously the field strip, that's fine. It's picture time here. That's fine, story time, nothing else. I mean, to issue a gun like this is, I gotta be honest, a very poor first effort. It is very disappointing, not recommended. The UTS-15 is a gun that would get you killed in my experience. Now, if you have a UTS-15, you love it, it's 100% for you, rock on, man. But the camera doesn't lie, it's out there for everyone to see. That's the Nutnfancy review. It's honest, it's real, it's high integrity. Out.